Hey, what's up guys? Gates here with Spartan Trades. I go by the name TradeLikeGates in the trading community, so if you see me around, say what's up. Today we're going to be breaking down my $2,070 profit trade on ticker Snapchat SNAP. My account number is 2793. I'm trading the weekly options call contracts. I'm showing you this to verify my profits so that you know that this is a real account, real trading, real money. It's not a paper trade here. This was posted in my Discord server today at 6:53 a.m. All right, so now that we've got the profits verified, let's go into the trade. I'm going to move to the daily chart time frame for ticker Snapchat SNAP. It's always important to start your analysis on the daily chart time frame. The reason being is because you can see macro areas of support and resistance. So previously, a couple of days ago, this gapped up on earnings, and so there's your gap up right there. What I mean by gap up is that there is little to no price action in between where it gapped up from 29 up to about 34. So that's fairly significant because I think the statistic is like 97% of gaps get filled at some point, but this is a very bullish sign for the ticker. So it gapped up on earnings, and for 2 days met the same level of resistance right there at 39, right? So we could see that pretty clearly here. That's where that wick touched. It's where it closed yesterday. So we're going to just draw a trend line there and let that serve as a point of resistance. So since this has gapped up, this is also into all-time highs. If we move back to the weekly chart time frame, you could see the ticker has never ever traded at that price point before. That means that there is little to no resistance over 39, stopping this from continuing to run up. Okay, that's important to note. That makes this an all-time high play, which is a high probability setup for a day trade for the next day. So knowing that, we're going to move to the 5-minute chart time frame. This morning, it had actually pushed up over the 39 level of resistance, kind of dipped back down below. But by the time the market opened up, let me zoom in here for you. So by the time the market opened up, you see it's trading just above our trend line here. We left the trigger at 39 because we wanted to make sure that despite it opening up over 39, we wanted to make sure that it held 39 as a support and ultimately did not go red, right? So we wanted to see it over 39. It's breaking into new all-time highs here. We want to see it hold and continue to move up. Very bullish sign when a stock is breaking into all-time highs. So avoiding trading in the first 5 minutes, I don't want to take an entry on that first 5-minute candle. The reason being because a lot of stuff is happening in the first 5 minutes. You have traders entering new positions for the day. You have traders from the previous day exiting positions. There's a lot of volatility and moving around at this time. So you want to really avoid the first 5 minutes, no matter how far it runs or how tempting it may be to get into a position. And it's also likely that if the ticker runs in the first 5 minutes, that it's telling you the stock is bullish for the day, and it's likely going to pull back. So on this pullback right here is where we took our entry at 39.4. So that let me do this analysis for you. This area right here, where the after hours and pre-market high was, and just before we opened up where the resistance was, that is going to be a significant level to mark also. If you're not trading with pre-market or after hours data on, you're wrong. You should always note those levels. They can be significant levels because look at where the stock pulled back to after it broke over this area. So it broke over, right, and it pulled back and wanted to test that old resistance as new support. So we took the entry there. Now you may be asking, Gates, how do you know to take your entry there? How do you know the stock's not going to come back down and reverse on you? I don't know that. Nobody knows that. Nobody knows what's going to happen in trading. What I do have, though, by taking an entry there is a low risk play, because theoretically that old resistance should be a new support, and it should not go any lower than that. Meaning that if it should not go any lower, I can place my stop very tight to that level, a really close and tight stop loss, and that's going to give me a tight risk with the potential to have a high reward, right? And we see this ran all the way up. So I posted this in the Discord server at, let me see here. Okay, so I posted this at 6:36 a.m. I'm long ticker Snapchat. I gave you the contracts and I told you my fill price. Okay, 6:36. Let's move to the 1 minute chart time frame. Show you exactly where that's at. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, right at this candle. That's where I wound up taking my entry. It the alert must have gone through 1 minute late, so it was right at that time where I took my entry on this dip to get filled, and then we got this push up in the next 2 minutes, right? So 6:35 was the true entry. The alert went out at 6:36 on this candle here, which still looked good, and this ran up to and broke 40 and 40.2. So literally 1 minute later, out of Snapchat for 41%. I was filled at 0.82. I exited at 1.14. $1,920 profit right then and there. Okay, 6:37 a.m. 1 minute trade. Well, technically 2 minutes. 2 minute trade. And you may be asking, Gates, why did you sell? Why didn't you hold through for all of this big move up here? 2 reasons. One, the market conditions this whole entire week, it hasn't been favorable. All right, so if we look at the daily chart for /ES, it's come down, it's been consolidating, right? If we move to the 5 minute chart, you see how much chop has been happening here lately. There's not been a lot of follow through on these breakouts. So with it hitting 40%, my usual target profit is about 20 to 30%, right? I start to scale out. These contracts flew. It hitting 40% right away. I was like, yeah, I would take that every time. I probably should have scaled out of the position, but this is literally the one of the only trades all week that we've even been offered anything close to this percentage, right? So this whole week, there hasn't been, like I said, a lot of breakouts, a lot of follow through. So I want to always take profits when offered, and then I will look for a re-entry later. That was point 1. Point 2 is /ES prior to open was forming this pattern right here. This is known as a rising wedge. So there's your rise. Here's your wedge where it's making higher highs and higher lows, and it gets compressed to this point. And despite what it looks like, this is actually a bearish formation. All right, so this opened up and went red immediately. That's significant because we were looking at taking a position long against the overall market, which is coming down. And I preach to my team that we want to take positions with market backing, right? We want to have market backing on our positions because that could be the difference between a stock that breaks out and follows through and continues to run versus a stock that breaks out and doesn't continue to run and kind of fakes out. All right, so this was posted this morning. Let me jump to this in chat. Sorry, that's what I was scrolling for. This was posted this morning in the Discord server. Be careful with /ES at open, right? At 6:15, before the market even opened. This is a rising wedge pattern. So there's your move up. And I said, this is what it has potential to do, right? And so there's your move up. We didn't have this price action yet. This is what it has potential to do, is come down. And that's exactly what it did, right? So it opened up and came right down. So I just didn't feel comfortable, to be honest, holding that position any longer than what we had already held it for. So Snapchat in that first couple minutes popped up. We made $19.20 profit on that trade. All right, so we're going to go back to the 1 minute chart time frame and really look at what's going on here. This started to hold while the market was coming down. This started to hold this old resistance as new support. That's going to be right at the 39.8 level. That's good. That's kind of what you want to see, especially if you're taking little scalp moves. So then we realize that this is forming what's known as a bull pennant pattern. And during this consolidation phase, you have decreasing volume. That is bullish. That's telling you that even though this is chopping around, the price action where it's coming down, it's not really coming down, right? So it's not a reversal in price. It's just people taking profits. The stock's just consolidating, right? It's not a true breakdown. It's not a true reversal. It's just consolidating on lower volume. When you get a break of the bull pennant right here, that's when you see that volume surge back in. And that was put out in the alert room, I believe. Yeah, it was put out in the alert room again at 6:46 a.m. Snapchat is worth watching over 40 for a possible re-entry. Okay, 646. So let's look at the timestamp. 645, 646. There's the 40 line that I was talking about. Right, so possible re-entry over 40. There's your pop move up and over 40. Pullback, test of 40 as a perfect support point, as it should. We know that these moments, these areas where a pattern breaks out at, should be treated as a support. So perfect pop, pullback, test as support, and then go again. So that was alerted here. 652 snap. That's high of day from the 40 dip entry mentioned. All right. 640, 52, right here. All right, so there was your high of day print. After that, the rest of this is history. It just continued to run all the way up. We took a few more pop trades on this, and that's how I wound up upping my profits to, what was this posted here? $2,070, right? Straight off the watch list, and called in chat multiple times. We actually wound up taking a trade end of day on Snapchat too. If I go to the 5-minute chart time frame, this was alerted here for a bull pennant breakout, right? So same deal. We're just on the 5-minute chart. Here's your consolidation, your pullback. It's happening on lower volume, right? And as soon as you get this pop move, look at your volume, right? So there's your pop up on volume. Here's your exact candle on that increasing volume right here where this broke out at. Nice little rundown pullback, testing this line as a support and no longer as a resistance, and then another pop move up to the high of day. All right, so we were able to take this trade here for profits. We wanted to see it hold that breakout area 42.40 and take that trade there for profits. Multiple ways to trade this ticker today. I hope that this video has helped you out some. I know I kind of went through it fast, but I don't want to make this video super lengthy. So if you have to rewatch this, take notes on some of the things that I said. I guarantee you that you're probably going to learn something. Put these things into practice, guys. Trading sometimes doesn't have to be so hard. This was the only ticker today that we focused on, just because it was one of the ones that was going against the overall market, right? So it was breaking out into new highs while the market's coming down. You want to see something like that happen or you want to focus on a ticker like that when it's happening because it's showing relative strength. Got it? So thank you for your time. I hope the video's helped out. If it has, please like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and let me know in the comments section if you have a video idea that you'd like me to do or a specific ticker that you'd like me to break down. I'd be happy to oblige. All right, guys, see you in chat.